Hey everybody, how's it going? It's Tim Weisberg here. Oh, that angle really makes me look like I have a double chin. And my hair is all messed up from wearing my hat at work. But I am on my way to Bridgewater. I am driving while Facebook Living. However, I do have it on my, what do you call it there? My gooseneck. So it's not like I have to actually hold the phone while I'm driving. I can look straight ahead and just talk to you. I am traveling, though, with my new friend, Ken Bones. And Ken wants to see some of the sites that we'll be checking out. Ken, you got your seatbelt on? All right, good. Ken wants to see some of the sites that we will be checking out as part of this Saturday night's event, as Spooky South Coast takes you inside the Bridgewater Triangle. I'm going to see if I can adjust this a little better. And let's see. I should probably just pull it up over here. That's better. And we are going to go check out some of the sites, including the Old Bridgewater Historical Society Memorial Building, the Reverend Keith Parsonage, which was built in 1662, the old cemetery, and also the War Memorial Park. And part of the reason why we are going over there today is because we have to time out getting people from location to location, because there'll be some parking issues at some of the spots where we won't be allowed to park. So we will be actually timing it out. The rest of the spooky crew will be joining me. We're gonna figure it all out and figure out how to maximize the investigation time for Saturday night. Again, only 10 tickets remain. No, 11 tickets. I'm sorry, I was counting Ken. 11 tickets remain for this event. It's gonna be very intimate. We're gonna go through the 4 different sites on a rotating basis, so there'll never be more than 10, 12 people at any spot, tops. So if you want to get your tickets now, you can go to SpookySouthCoast.com in order to get them. It is going to be a great night. It's the first time that the Historical Society building has ever been investigated, and it's got 3 stories, and it's got all of the town archives are in the basement, or a bunch of town archives are in the basement, and also the attic is full of stuff, and the main room has a bunch of artifacts under glass that the Historical Society has collected over the years, including some that are directly related to the Keith family, including Reverend Keith's eyeglasses. And some of these artifacts go as far back as King Philip's War or before. Now, I have to stress that they are not particularly or necessarily from King Philip's War, but they go back to that era, to that time period. And Tim Weisberg. Hold on, Ken. I don't like when you stare at me like that. And we are outside the Old Bridgewater Historical Society Memorial Building here on Howard Street in West Bridgewater. And we are going to just show you the building a little bit right here. And hold on. Ken, do me a favor. Can you do me a favor? Can you like flip that phone for me? See that button right there? Yeah, that button. Can you press that? All right. So here we go. Let's walk on up ahead here, and we will see this is the entranceway into the Old Bridgewater Historical Society building, and we will be investigating here as part of our event on Saturday night. Again, this building was built in 1900. It's never been investigated. It has a basement that is full of awesome archives. The main floor, which has some very interesting artifacts in it, in glass cases. There's also an attic as well that we can investigate as part of the event. And look who has arrived. It is, I can't see, so hopefully I'm pointing the camera at you. It is the silent assassin, Matt Costa, science advisor, Matt Moniz. Have you met my friend Ken Bones?
There's a mustache.
What it is, cuz.
And so we are going to be checking out some of these sites. Yeah, Ken, see. Ken will be there. Ken will be there Saturday night. He said he's going to buy one of the last remaining tickets. So you can get your tickets. We're going to show you some of the other sites as well as we go along here. So Ken, say goodbye to the people. Later. All right. All right, everybody. We're here at the Keith House now. The Reverend James Keith Parsonage, the first minister for Bridgewater. This house was built in 1662. and it's been lovingly restored by the Old Bridgewater Historical Society. This is another one of the sites that we're going to be investigating on Saturday night. It's one of the 4 locations that are all related to the Keith family. Earlier we were at the Old Bridgewater Historical Society building. That was built in 1900. No one has ever investigated that building before. This building has been investigated a few times. The Dartmouth Anomalies Research Team conducted a formal investigation here, and one of the Historical Society members is a paranormal investigator. She's done a couple of investigations here as well. But this is the first time they've ever had an event like this where a lot of people have been able to come through and investigate over the course of one night. So as you can see, Ken Bones is pretty excited about being here. He can't wait to get inside. Stephanie's here as well now. She's joined us. And this is going to be probably, I think for a lot of people, this will be the highlight of Saturday night's investigation, because when have you ever had the chance to investigate a place that was built in 1662? We get all excited when we get to go into the Faring Tavern in Wareham, because that was built in 1690. Well, this predates that by 28 years. So this is going to be by far the oldest place I've ever investigated. Moniz, I don't know if you've ever had the chance to be in any place older than that, but
In Europe, yes.
here, though, around here, this is as old as it gets, at least that we've been allowed into so far. But this building here, it has the main level. It has a basement, but I don't know if we're going to be allowed in there. It's kind of like a root cellar type basement. It has the main level. Then there's also the second level, and there's a small attic area as well. So there's going to be plenty of room for everybody to meander about inside. A lot of artifacts in here. A lot of great historical artifacts from the time period of the Keith family. So when you're walking through here and you see the old checkers board, or the chessboard, and when you see some of the other things that they have, we're talking about stuff that comes directly from, the 17th century, right here in front of you, that, as I said, could have its own attachments, could have its own energies associated with it. Stephanie, I know you haven't had the chance to be inside of here yet.
I have not yet.
But I'm sure you're pretty excited to get the chance to be in there.
I can't wait.
And who knows, you could walk in there and you could open the door to a house full of spirits.
I definitely could. It's looking like it might be that type of night.
There's costumes inside.
Ooh, creepy. Mannequins?
I think there might be some mannequins inside.
Mannequins are scary.
But there's all kinds of great stuff inside of here. And again, just being here, being in 4 different sites that are all related to the Keith family, and also being inside the Bridgewater Triangle. Where we are, where just a short distance as the crow flies from the Hockomock Swamp. We've got running water right across the street. We've got all kinds of stuff around here that's going to amplify all the energy, but we are inside the Bridgewater Triangle. It's Tim, and I'm here with Matt and Stephanie, and we are, see there's Stephanie, and Moniz, and the Silent Assassin. And we are at the old graveyard, which was first put together in 1683. And this is where, right in front of us, is the grave of Reverend James Keith, who passed away in July of 1719 at 76 years old. Also here with his wife, Susanna Keith. She died in 1705. And this is actually their grave site. So the Keith family that we will be investigating all night long, right here, this is where they are interred. And as I was saying, this event will have that connection to one family, which I think is pretty unique. We haven't had the opportunity to investigate places where one family is connected to all 4 spots. Does it mean anything? No.
It could.
But, that's exactly, it could mean something. It could mean something so that the night that we're out there, they see us reaching out to them, trying to make contact with them, and going to all these different places. That might spur Reverend Keith or his wife to reach out and say hello. And there's a lot of very, very old graves here. There's a lot of treacherous territory around here, too. In fact, there's a hill that we were walking on over here that we're actually going to keep this one little tiny hill as off limits for the night of the event, just because it's so soft. And you can see where, I'm squishing into the ground as I walk on it. It's very mossy and very wet, and it's starting to come apart. So, we're going to just keep everybody off of that during the night of the event, but you will have the entire rest of the old graveyard as part of the investigation. So we always say, you know, do dead people hang out where they're buried? Probably not. But on this particular night, if we're coming out here and looking to make contact, it's entirely plausible that somebody might want to reach out and say hello. Hey everybody, it's Tim again. We are live. We are live at War Memorial Park inside the Bridgewater Triangle, one of the 4 spots that we'll be investigating as part of Saturday night's event. And actually, I think we only have like 9 tickets left because a couple of tickets actually sold while we were driving from the old graveyard over to here. So if you wanted to get tickets, don't waste any time. There's only 9 tickets left. The tickets are actually going as we're doing these videos. So go on SpookySouthCoast.com right now and get your tickets. But we are here live at War Memorial Park right now. Matt and Stephanie are still here with me. But we've also met up with Len and Peggy, who will actually be attending the event on Saturday night. And we're going to take you on a quick tour of War Memorial Park while the light is still with us. There you see Matt Coster over there. There's a bridge over there that goes over running water. So this place is going to be perfect to have all types of activity because there's running water and there's a lot of stone. There's a little tunnel. And of course, there's also Pulpit Rock, which is where Reverend James Keith would give his sermons when he first came to Bridgewater before the church was completed. So we are going to take you through War Memorial Park and show you some of the spots. Now keep in mind, on Saturday night when we're out here, it's going to be very dark. So we're going to have everybody out here with flashlights and everybody staying safe. But the tickets are limited for this event. So it's not like you're going to have 100 people walking around the park here. You're going to have a very small amount of people walking around the park. We have a little covered bridge over there. And I'm just going to take you over to the bridge and show you. See, there's a larger bridge over there. But here's the little covered bridge. Now imagine being in here, sitting in the covered bridge on Saturday night in the dark, conducting an EVP session while you have the running water flowing underneath you. Now that's going to give you, it's going to charge up the ions in the air, that running water, which will only help activity. And also that's all rock and stone in the bed of that. So that's going to help record and amplify. Look at all that field stone that helped create the wall around this river. So that fieldstone is going to help record and amplify energy as well. And this all runs down to Pulpit Rock. So you're going to be looking at a spot here that it's going to be perfect for sitting in and conducting EVP recording. So that's going to be awesome. I can't wait for that. And then over here, this is super cool. This is something you don't see at every park. We're going to just be careful here while we go down these stairs. And again, everybody, if you are coming to the event on Saturday night, bring a flashlight, but we will have some. But how many parks have you had the chance to investigate that have little stone tunnels? And we can actually cut across here. And check this out. You know, just a little cave, nothing too deep, but you could set a recorder in there and walk away. Just be very careful in the dark. In fact, it's probably a good idea to wear boots on Saturday night. Check this out. Check this cave out. Look at this. Just a small little cave, but again, a great spot to try and record EVPs. And then it comes out to this awesome spot as well, where they would have had a mill. So what do you think, Stephanie? What do you think of the cave and the water and everything here in this park?
I was just telling Len here, like we talked about before, the Keith homestead, all the quartz that's in all this rock with this lovely running water is going to hold in a lot of energy, which
Right, this
creates an environment for a haunt.
It's all fieldstone that's
Yes.
been used to build all of this.
Yep.
It's amazing just the workmanship that went into putting all this together. And Len, you were saying that you know somebody that had an experience in the cave?
Our daughter had an experience here.
Is something you want to share with the audience?
Sure. She and her fiance were here actually looking for Pokemon.
Right.
And came through the tunnel and we're standing right in this area, and she all of a sudden felt like there was somebody standing behind her. Pitch dark. It was honestly after hours, but pitch
She knows
dark.
people.
She knows people, yeah. And she felt there was somebody standing behind her. She turned around and there was a shadow figure standing behind her. And as soon as she screamed, it vanished.
And as you're telling that story, there's actually a figure up behind you. There's a hooded figure up there. But
What a creep.
But that's an awesome story, and to have that happen right here in this spot where we're standing and where you could be investigating on Saturday night. And Stephanie, also, you heard the magic word there, Pokemon.
I did hear that.
So that means
As he told me Pokemon, I said, oh, I didn't even think of it.
while you're investigating out here on Saturday night, you can also be looking for Pokemon. Now, as you can see here, the waterways come to a point right here. So if you're out and investigating, and again, it's going to be very important on Saturday night that when you're out here, you're very aware of your surroundings, because we don't want anybody falling, we don't want anybody going over the side, we don't want anybody taking a swim. But if you come out here, right here to this point, this is where the two waterways converge. And they meet and they go on forward. So all that energy, all that running water is all coming to a point right here. So this might not be a bad spot to sit and try and get something going. And again, here's just a view of the rest of the park. And it's a huge park. So I'm going to keep walking around and showing you some more of the park. I see the viewership is actually going up. Do me a favor, share this video with people that you know are on Facebook that would like the paranormal. We're going to save all these videos and put them up on the event page so you'll be able to see them and watch them again. But just share it with everybody as you're watching and let them know so they can check it out. But I'm going to take you all the way to what's known as Pulpit Rock, which is where Reverend Keith gave his sermons. We're going to just go up these stone stairs. And again, there's a little interesting area here. It's not that warm, Scott. So as we're walking around here and walking down here and going down here, and as you can see, these steps were put in when? 1939. We're going to come down here, and they actually have like a little stone staging area here where they can do different events. But, and you'll see the field area right here, but this, from what I understand, this is Pulpit Rock right here. There's the plaque over here on the side. Pulpit Rock. Right, I've been here before. So 1663. This is where Reverend James Keith would stand and give his sermon to the people of Bridgewater, where he would stand and preach the word of God to those who lived inside the Bridgewater Triangle. That even back then, they reported ghostly sightings, strange creatures in the woods, and UFOs. And if you don't think that on Saturday night, we're not in a great spot to be looking for UFOs, in addition to being looking for ghosts, if you don't think there's a possibility that some weird creature could be walking around in the trees, well, then you don't know the Bridgewater Triangle.